Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Hope and Coffee. I'm Hope. With me is my coffee and a puppy in my lap. So if you see his little head pop up, he is right down here. But today's episode is about things that should end before 2024 starts. And I agree with a lot of the things that are on this list, which is why I wanted to talk about it. And I know sometimes we do lists, and the reason I do that is because I really want to foster a discussion. I want people to tell me if they think that, they agree or they don't agree. And for most of this list that I found, I was pretty much in agreement because I feel like we've been inundated with a lot of things that are kind of unnecessary. Sure, our world is trying to be incredibly automated to where things just happen and we don't have to think about it. But the thing is there are certain things that we really should be thinking about. And so number one is subscription services. I definitely think that should be far more minimal than what it is. I know, of course, having Netflix or Hulu and things like that is pretty good. But the thing is like every single app on your phone or every single thing you try to do almost always has a subscription service now. And it gets really difficult to try to manage those subscriptions, especially when you only want to utilize it to see if you're even going to use it longer than maybe a trial period. So definitely think that we are overly inundated with subscription services. Next is the accept all cookies. Well, I definitely see that pop up way too much. Like, I'll just go to a website for like looking for a Christmas gift, and of course, it wants me to accept cookies for that. And I don't even know why it wants me to accept cookies. I'm not filling in anything. I was literally trying to browse the first page, but it wants to remember stuff about me, that like where I came from and where I go next. And that's kind of what the cookies are doing anyway, is like, okay, the breadcrumb led you here from where, and now it's going to lead you where after this. So, like, I just don't think it's important. They don't need to know where I'm going. They don't need to know what I'm looking for. And so, yes, we like, as much as I love real cookies, I don't need my computer to try to remember these little breadcrumbs. Um, Number three was everything being cropped, and this is clothing wise. So I did walk into a store, found some super cute stuff, realized the jackets were cropped, and the t-shirts were cropped, and the sweatshirts were cropped, and I was just not super happy with that because I'm like, it's a sweatshirt, it's a jacket. I needed to at least come to my hips or something, but they barely came to the bottom of my rib cage. So I'm like, how am I supposed to stay warm if it's barely covering the bottom of my rib cage? But that was something. I feel like I could use a full size shirt. Also, I feel like I'd use some better basics because when I go to a store, sometimes they have the weirdest things on them and I just can't find some really good basics. Um, Number four is actually the 5 day work week. And I have actually read a couple articles about how successful the 4 day work weeks are in other countries. And I am super hopeful that it will be more of a consideration for those of us here in the United States. Heck, I don't even mind going to the office 4 days a week because I'm already in the office 5 days a week. If I can telework that fifth day, like, let me pick the day each week that I'm going to telework, and that would be fine. But number five is the exorbitant cost of living because things are just getting more and more expensive and paychecks are not really increasing at an appropriate rate for everyone. Inflation is really getting everyone with rent prices, grocery prices, gas prices, and those sorts of things. And the cost of living is getting incredibly high and it's not being met by the salary that we were making like even a year or two ago or 3 years ago when you know so I'm just saying, like, the cost of living has not balanced out with what we're making. And even though many of us are doing the same if not similar jobs, the thing is we can only go so high. All of us cannot go out and work in tech because not all of us are skilled in that capacity. So I'm going to skip number six for a minute because number seven is social media challenges that injure or hurt others. And this one is in like, I definitely think this should absolutely end. I am so tired of seeing articles and things on the news about people getting hurt or injured or maimed in some way because they wanted to do a challenge that they saw on TikTok or Instagram or something. And I just think that is so ridiculous. So, the next one being people using their phone speakers in public absolutely needs to end. People should have appropriate etiquette by now in that capacity. Not all of us want to hear what you are listening to. That's what headphones are for. Number 9 being celebrity worship. Again, I think I did a whole article or a whole video on my question of why that's a thing, because I just don't get it. I just see them as people, so even if they were living next door or across the street or what have you, they're still just people. And so I'm going to treat them as such, because they do a job, I do a job. Yeah, their job makes them more than me, but okay, I don't need to worship them for that. The next is gender reveals that are that are costly or damaging. Well, I think in general, you can do a cute one. I don't mind the ones with the little cakes that when you cut into it, it's pink or blue or what have you. I think those are pretty cute. But it's the ones that are ridiculously, I don't know, elaborate, and then either something goes wrong, someone's hair catches on fire, something happens, something gets damaged, and it's just not worth it. And next one is layoffs happening while CEOs get 300 times their salary. Definitely something that needs to be reconsidered. Tipping culture is another one. I used to work at a coffee shop, so tipping was, of course, encouraged, but I made a pretty good wage without the tip. I had good benefits, and I had, so my paycheck was not bad, but I also got tips, and so it was not bad as well. But I don't agree with a waitress or a waiter making, $2 an hour only for their paycheck to have to be supplemented only in tips. I absolutely don't agree with that. The next one is people having strong opinions without research. Definitely think people need to start looking into things before they try to get overly vocal. I had someone the other day tell me that they thought something different than I did. And I said, okay, I don't agree with you. And they said, well, it's just a scam. And I said, well, I don't see it that way. And when I utilized it, I was very happy with with the results. So I don't see it as a scam. And he's like, well, I didn't mean to make you mad. And I'm like, look, I'm not mad, but the thing is you're being very aggressive about it, and I won't participate in that conversation. So it just felt as though my first-hand account didn't count for anything. He already had a bias towards one way or another. Next one is back to the office working. Again, that kind of goes back to my thought of I don't mind going into the office a few days a week. I really don't. I like my coworkers. I like talking to them. I like seeing them. Sometimes grabbing lunch with them. The work I do is pretty good. But I do enjoy teleworking too. I don't know if I could do it every day just simply because I don't think I could focus that well. I know some people can because they have carved niches out in their own homes to be able to do that, but me, I have 2 dogs and my bedroom. I have a 1-bedroom apartment, so it's not going to be great for me to try to work from home. I would need to get a 2-bedroom apartment in order to have a space specifically dedicated to that sort of thing. And then finally is advertisements everywhere. That is so true. There are advertisements on top of advertisements when you get an advertisement, and then even clicking them on your phone that, sometimes Xing them out is so small, then you still end up clicking the advertisement, and you're just and you try to do it 4 or 5 times, and you just can't hit the X because it's so specific and where you have to hit it. So advertisements in this massive amount really needs to end, because there's just absolutely no way my brain can function with that much amount. I don't even pay attention to them anymore. I don't even know what they're trying to sell me or make me look at half the time. But anyway, so the one that I had skipped was one that just absolutely makes my skin crawl, and it is bed bugs, and it's the bed bug issue. And I don't know why bed bugs is still an issue. I don't know where they come from or why. I don't believe I have never had an issue with bed bugs. Nowhere I've lived have ever had an issue with bed bugs, but apparently they are still a thing, and I've known quite a few people who have encountered those issues and have worked and dealt with it with fumigation and those sorts of things. But that is something that we need to figure out how to eradicate. And can we get rid of mosquitoes while we're at it too? Because that would be great. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you all on the next page. Have a great one.